and ever wonder what it's like to mess things up so badly? Even a critically panned movie looks good by comparison. Um, that's what happened with the Flashpoint storyline. For years, fans adored Grant Gustin's portrayal of the Flash, a beacon in the Arrowverse. But when it came to adapting one of the most iconic comic arcs, the show stumbled, while the movie, against the odds, delivered a more compelling vision. The CW's The Flash gave us 9 seasons of thrills, though it wasn't always smooth sailing. Uh, remember that lightsaber battle? Um, yeah, some moments were questionable, but the biggest misstep came with Flashpoint. Um, the story where Barry Allen changes the past with devastating consequences. Um, as frustrating as season 2 was, the fallout was even worse. The show rushed into Flashpoint, squandering a chance to really explore the ramifications of Barry's actions. The result, a watered down version that barely scratched the surface of the comic's brilliance. Uh, Season 3 opened with Barry grappling with a new reality. His mother was alive, but at a cost. Friends were different. Cisco was a tech mogul, and yet it all felt small. The world didn't feel drastically altered, and Barry still had his powers. A glaring departure from the source material. In the comics, Flashpoint is a universe turned upside down. Some kind of, inside problem. Thomas Wayne becomes a grim vigilante. Iris's father has a difficult relationship, and war rages between the Amazons and Atlanteans. It's a world without a Justice League, a world fundamentally broken. The CW's version lacked that scope and intensity. The biggest problem, it all happened in a single episode. There was no time to explore the wider consequences, to show how Barry's actions rippled through the Arrowverse. It felt like a quick fix to undo a weak season finale, rather than a genuine adaptation of a landmark story. The movie didn't fully capture the depth of Flashpoint, but it at least attempted to translate the scale and intensity of Barry's choices. Multiple Barrys, heroes popping up, a desperate race against time. It had a sense of urgency and consequence that the show lacked. The CW missed a huge opportunity, fired pops of the six. Titling the episode Flashpoint felt like a promise they couldn't keep. And it boxed them in, preventing them from expanding the story into the grand multi-season arc it deserved. Considering how expansive the Arrowverse became, it's a real shame. Flashpoint could have been the ultimate Arrowverse crossover. For that console, massive challenges mean. Well, imagine the fallout spreading to every show, altering the status quo in profound ways. DC's movie and TV projects were divided. The Justice League wouldn't have been a central part, but Barry changing the past should have had serious ripple effects. And, Instead, it barely touched the other shows. The consequences felt isolated, lacking the weight and impact a fan of the character might expect. It felt like a missed opportunity to create something truly special. It wasn't the same way. It could have begun in some of these ways differently. But the fallout from Barry's misguided choice should have created more far-reaching changes and pushed the world into chaos. Alternatively, if you had used this storyline to separate the character from the rest of the Arrowverse for a season and actually explored Barry without powers, it could have been much more effective. And it still could have begun in the same way, but the fallout from Barry's misguided choice should have created more far-reaching changes and pushed the world into chaos. And Flashpoint is a story that spills out into the rest of the DC universe. It revolves around Barry and seeing him learn about the consequences of his actions. And Barry does that but it doesn't feel as grand or lasting in the approach the show takes. The show had the potential to create a defining moment for the character and the series, expanding it to fill a season, or Arrowverse crossover would have effectively done the job. Building trails doesn't take anything more effectively, and processing. Unfortunately, as it stands, this was one of the rare moments where a movie topped its TV counterpart. It just goes to show sometimes even a fast runner can stumble on the track. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,